And we should be live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another very exciting episode of Tal'dorei Fields of Wonder. We're on episode 6, and I was actually thinking about this in my outline months ago when I was planning this. We're actually pretty much on schedule for what I had anticipated, which is pretty wild. But that's all good then. Sorry, I'm just trying to make a couple things go here on the back end. Unfortunately, Jacob's computer is still bricked. So...
It's super still bricked, Bill. This is true. This is true. But I did take it to somebody else. I now know the problem. I've ordered the part. I don't know if I said like it's a car. I need a new motherboard. That's the situation. The power fluctuation decided to fry it apparently.
Motherboard.
Exactly. So.
All right.
Hopefully soon.
So, before we get into things, let's go around the table and see who are we and where can we find us. Oh, actually, not who are we and who are we playing tonight. We'll start out tonight with Alex.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alex or Ziva on the interwebs. You can find me on social media at Ziva RPG. I'll be playing Hosen Sunhelm, the Rune Knight Fighter Rogue multi-class, and I am very excited to be here.
Cool. Smitty?
Hey y'all, PB Smitty on the interwebs. You can call me Smitty, he, him pronouns. I am playing second Can't Do Life Cleric, they, them pronouns. Back to you, Bill.
Let's go around the circle here and go to Rain.
Hello. I am Rain, and I am going to be playing Big Mama Mocha. She is a stout, if not curvy, halfling druid, Circle of the Swamp.
Very cool. And...
Swamp with an O.
Swamp. She swamps a lot.
Go get us.
And last but not least, Jacob.
That's a Florida deep cut. Hey, everybody. My name is Jacob Plick, Do Walking Jacob, Twitter, Insta, etc. I use he and pronouns. And tonight I'll be playing Cinnabon Garrist, Circle of the Wildfire, a druid, and he's a Haragon and awesome, and he uses he, they pronouns.
Very cool. All right, everybody. So we are, like I said, getting kicked off here with episode 6. But before we do, I want to go ahead and thank the artists as always. We've got Happy Cap for our fantastic overlays and screens. Gremlin Art for our character art, which are layered on top of those fantastic screens. And then, as you'll see here in a little bit, we got the intro done by So Maddie Games. Maddie over there did a fantastic job for us, too. Now, I think that's everything that I wanted to cover. How about you, Jacob? Anything that you would like to talk about?
There is something I wanted to talk about. Thank you, Bill. So today, everyone, is National Coming Out Day. And wherever you are in your journey, from whether it's identity or sexuality or whatever it is you're going through, I think it's important just to note that you're not alone, and that there are plenty of people out there in which to talk to that love you and care about you. And also take your time. If you feel like you're not ready, it's totally okay. It took me 35 fucking years to begin to even think about figuring it out. Thank you, Catholicism. Appreciate that. And I'm still asking the right questions. And but happily bisexual, ace, loud, ridiculous, and wherever you are in your journey, take your time.
Fuck yeah, could not agree with that more. Okay, with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and kick us over to the aforementioned intro video. See you in a bit.
Yay.
All right, we are back. Let's talk a little bit about what happened last time.
Sure.
In the last episode, we started out with that recurring dream that Cinnabon has had, in which he approached some stones that were scattered around an open field that opened up into the ground. And we had him wake up just before going into one of those stones. And then, once they woke up, they wrapped up in the cleared out camp, and then followed Cowl, the werewolf, and his direwolf out of the forest. And after some brief negotiation, they got Cowl to help bring the carts back to Turst Fields, and after druid shaping into some horses, and then resting in order to re-up their druid shape abilities, they finally were able to arrive back at Turst Fields. But before entering, Hosen helped Cowl with some contacts in Westruun to help in his quest to bring down the League of Miracles. At least, so Cowl said. Then, once the werewolf left, they entered the town, wherein they were greeted like heroes on the shoulders of the townsfolk. And then, Hosen decided he probably needed to go and greet his husband. Well, Balthazar was extremely happy to see Hosen again. He was less excited when he realized that this was the first of potentially many adventures that Hosen would go on. But after promising, and indeed lying, that this was going to be the definitive last one, Hosen seemed to put his husband at ease. Then they went to the mayor to collect the reward, and perhaps get some supplies on the next leg of their journey. But when the mayor, Lornan Thistlewhip, reached out his hand to grab some coin out of the cabinet behind him, Hosen saw a symbol on a charm bracelet around his wrist that looked exactly like the one that Yeti had branded on his shoulder. And that's where we're going to pick up tonight. Hosen, you see Lornan, hands basically deep inside of one of these cabinet drawers, kind of digging around looking for something inside of it. Just to set the scene again, this is kind of the central part of his house. There is that long hallway going out into the front, and those two ominous doors basically that are flanking Lornan at the moment on the back wall. There are some chaise lounges in the middle here, and remember, there is this really strong smell of cigar smoke, and in fact, in the other hand, he is holding a half-smoked cigar as he's digging through.
Hosen notices this and waits patiently, waiting for him to approach with the money first. Just kind of notice this kind of like gets a little bit, it kind of raises his shoulders a little bit, drops him down, removes his hand from the rapier at his hilt, and waits.
Okay. Anybody else like to do something at the moment? Actually, I don't know that you all noticed this. I think Hosen's the only one that does notice it. So, after a couple of seconds, he... Oh, shoot, we are. Okay, thank you for that. No maps yet. Anyway, so... Where was I? Yes. So there's a little bit of clinking and jangling around inside of the cabinet, and he pulls out a medium-sized sack, and he says, turns around very jovially, and then hands it over to you, or at least holds it out to you, Hosen, and says, "As promised, here is your 200 golds for the wonderful job you've done bringing back the grain. As I'm sure you know, this is not only a boon for Turst Fields itself, but also for the entire realm. Thank you so much. A debt rests in your hands that can never be repaid."
Hosen kind of approaches, says, "Oh, please, it was only out of the good of our hearts, anyone would have done the same. As he reaches for the money, he goes past the money and grabs onto the mayor's wrist
Okay.
to try to take a closer look at it.
Okay. So, I would assume that there's a bit of acting associated with you pretending like nothing's wrong. So why don't we do a performance check?
Yeah. Absolutely. That is great. Do. Natural 20 for 21.
Okay. Okay. Doesn't notice anything is wrong. And can you tell me a little bit more about how you are grabbing his wrist? Are you doing it forcefully, aggressively, or surreptitiously?
Aggressively.
Okay.
I think Hosen in this moment, knowing what just happened, knowing what the symbol means, kind of grabs onto it, not to like hold this person in or anything of that sort, just to like hold onto it so they can't move away, and just kind of like, oh, interesting, a little charm you have there.
Okay. And are you trying to hold on to his hand?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a strength check then. Ridiculous.
Well, that's a 3.
I got a 1.
Two very
Amazing.
weak people.
All right. So even though you are not really prepared for the fact that he's going to pull his hand away, he does try to pull his hand away, but he's also kind of put off guard because he didn't understand that this was something that you had seen, and he immediately starts pulling his cuff down to cover it up, and then he says, "Oh, what you mean? This just a trinket of sorts?"
I'm sorry, it looked very familiar. I think my companions and I saw something similar on person that attacked the city. I think their name was the Yeti. I believe that individual had the same marking tattooed onto them as you're wearing right now. That's a very interesting.
Oh, coincidences happen and all those things, and I'm sure this was a very stressful moment for you to see on the back of this gentleman. You said his name was Yuppie, and no, he I'm sure there's just coincidence abound.
Insight? Can I
Would
roll?
Like to do a insight
Yeah.
check. Yeah.
Please, anybody that would like to, you're more than welcome.
Oh, nice. 17 for Hosen.
All right.
Sweet 16.
String of decent rolls, and it is not difficult to tell that that first of all, he was very taken aback by the fact that you had seen this, and second of all, he is extremely embarrassed and worried about what the potential implications are, and he's just grasping at, or should we say, clasping at straws as it relates to an explanation for what this symbol might be.
I'm changing the title now.
Good night, everybody. That's been us. Welcome. Have a good week. All right.
And in fact, I think second, you see him start to sweat.
I don't think second fully understands the implications of the symbol and what the clasp is, but they do understand that the mayor is trying to get one over or hide something. And tilting the head, they just look at them and say, "If you butter the biscuits, then you are going to have buttered biscuits."
He looks over at you a second and says, "Great points. I am rather famished. Would anybody like some biscuits? I can have some brought over. We have a fresh batch of butter, and it would be very tasteful on some biscuits.
Hosen ignores all of that and says, "What do you know about the clasp?"
I'm sorry, the clasp, that's something I'm not familiar with. But I am familiar with churned butter. And he tries to pull his hand away from you. Are you still holding on to it?
Do not let go.
Okay, let's
Holding
do
on.
another strength check.
Second will reach out and cast guidance on Hosen as they
Okay.
try to hold on.
All right.
As a 5 plus a D4.
Yeah, I got an 8, so it's still within realm.
Ooh.
It is not.
Yep.
All right. So you have just a little bit of grasp left, and I think the sweat that he is exuding at the moment kind of makes his hand a little bit slippery.
Flop sweat.
And he
Gross.
gets out of your grasp, and he starts moving towards the. He tries to push past you and get towards the exit.
He's trying to leave his own house with us in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to leave the house.
Interesting.
Is there only one exit to the one exit that we know of to the house?
There's one exit that you know of to the house, yes, and he is on his way there.
Second, we'll move to block the exit. Not just block the door, but we'll close the door and then lean against the door.
Lean against the door. Do you mean because it opens outwards? So
Okay. Then we'll close the door and just block the door.
Okay, cool. He looks at you a second and says, "Well, I'm just getting the biscuits you had asked for. If you wouldn't mind stepping aside."
Today is going to be a bad day for him.
So the biscuits are outside.
Yes, the biscuits are outside. And second, would you mind rolling an intimidation check for me, please?
Sure.
Yes, I'm just going to the local
Dirty 20.
bakery, and that will allow me to. And then you say that second, and he stops in his tracks, and then now he realizes he's surrounded, and he says to you second, what is it that you want?
Second, are you paying attention? And I'll point at the bracelet. And then look at Hosen.
Where did you get this?
You can see he is full on cold sweat at the moment now. And he starts to unbutton his shirt a little bit to make it not as hot for himself. And then he takes a puff off of his cigar to give himself a moment to think. And he says, It was, let's call it a treasure that was given to me after there have been some raids that were affecting Turst Fields. And it was a way for us to be sure that the job had been done.
What job?
That the raids had been finished. The person that we had hired to take care of these raids brought this back, and I wear it as a symbol of my devotion to making sure that the town of Turstfields is safe forever.
I would like to insight check.
Please.
Can I give you guidance?
Woo! Don't need it.
Let's go.
Seconds, wisdom is fuck. Let's go.
Natural 20. Let's go.
Second, as he's saying this, you can still tell that he's eyeing you and the doorway to see whether or not there's any position shift that will give him an opportunity to scoot past you. And again, you would know that the door opens outwards, and so it is not that problematic for him to just slip past you. So that is what he is currently the eye movements that he's tracking right now. That's what you are gathering.
But do I get anything off of the story he's telling?
Oh, it's complete horseshit.
Okay. Second, we'll say, in Cowell's voice, it's bullshit to me. And then we'll cast Sanctuary on himself, encompassing the entire space of the door.
Okay. Now, the wording of Sanctuary is attack specific, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which I assume, well, you can slip by, like you said, but if you're going to try and grapple or something, I assume that's.
Yep. All good. Now, I want to pass it to Cinnabon, Big Mocha, Big Mama, anything that you would like to do as like Hosen and Second are kind of surrounding Lornan.
But it's not here.
Oh, fuck all. That's right. Okay, Big Mama.
I would like to cast nicely Charm Person.
Okay.
What's the nice version, Rain?
Snare.
Snare person.
So.
All right, so that is going to be a charisma save. Is that correct?
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Charisma's banishment.
I mean, that's a 2.
Solid.
Now, remind me that in the text, is it friendly to you specifically, Big Mama, or friendly to you and your party? It makes.
Let's see. Charmed by me regards me as a friendly acquaintance.
Okay. Then I realize it's splitting hairs a little bit, but I think at that point he looks over at you, Big Mama, and says, "Oh, thank God you're here. Would you mind telling your friends to back down? I'm sure there's a very good resolution to all this without the use of force." And he looks at Second.
You know, you are right on that. But I find it odd that even though we are friends, and she gestures over at him.
Oh yes,
You need to
the
leave.
best of friends.
The very best. But I would say that, I don't find that we are very hungry. We'd rather more so have a conversation, a tete-a-tete with us and you. So don't worry about the biscuits. Let's just go ahead and have a sip.
Oh, fantastic. Actually, it's been so long since we've been able to talk, Big Mama, that I'm very excited to pull out. And he goes over to one of the other drawers and kind of pushes past you, Hosen, if you let him.
Hosen lets him, but grabs his rapier by his side.
Okay.
Draws it out.
Okay.
Ready for anything.
Goes into the cabinet, and instead of a drawer, it is like a swing-out door cabinet, and he takes a big bottle of cognac, and also pronounced cognac, and cognac.
I love you so much, Bill.
The drink formerly known as
You are the
cognac.
gift that keeps on giving.
And then
Cognac.
he puts it on the table, and then he brings out a box of cigars and says, "Only the best for you and your friends too." And he winks at you, Big Mama.
Oh, you are too kind, sir. Yeah, let's all sit together and have a swap. So let's all talk together.
Yeah. He goes ahead and sits down, and he also brought some glasses, and he starts unwrapping the cognac, and so you could tell that this has never been opened, and he starts pouring it, and the aroma inside the room starts to mix with the smoke of the cigar, as well as now this really potent smelling alcohol flavor as well in the air.
Musty. Hosen stands by the door with Second. I think Hosen sees Big Mama Mocha. We'll have Big Mama's Mocha's back, but I feel like Big Mama Mocha is more diplomatic than Hosen would be in this moment.
So Big Mama sits down and she does take, one of the glasses of the cognac and swirls it, sips it. And she's like, you know what? I do like that bracelet. When it comes to accessories, that very much is right up my alley. So, can you tell us more about your friend who gave that to you? Because I would love to add that, you know, to my inventory.
He, uh, yeah, he says, "Oh, I didn't realize you're interested in having it." And he takes, the clasp around his wrist and takes it off. And you could see that now that it's out in the open, it is a silver charm bracelet with only one charm on it, which is that symbol of the clasp. And then he hands it over to you and says, "All you had to do was ask. There's no need for this unpleasantries. We are, as I said, old friends, and what's, is my positions are yours."
You are too kind. You know what? And I know it's only just me right here. Let me go ahead and, bring it over to my friend so too, because sometimes my eyesight. And so she does bring it over to Second and Hosen for them to further look at it, for them to confirm. And then she does whisper, "Okay, now what?"
You look back at him, and he's like very, very joyously holding up a glass to you, like, uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
I think we need to figure out where you got it from. And
And you said, who was this from? Who gave you this?
Oh, is that a question to him? Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
He says, you know what? He says, "I know better than to lie to an old friend. That story was very much bullshit. It was a good story, though, wasn't it?
It was.
But I can't tell you that. That's something that's. It would be very bad if that got out. So I'm not going to tell you about that. And there's nothing you can do to tell me. But I tell you this because we are friends, because we are old friends, and I respect you. So I will not tell you any more silly lies, but I will not tell you the truth either."
But what if we wanted to be, say, a part of this coalition to get this such finery? And you just don it so well that I would like to have something like this. And for us to be friends, why would you think that this would get out? It's only us here, us friends.
Roll deception with advantage.
good.
I love that.
All right.
Guidance.
I did not
Alright.
think that was coming, and I love it.
Got one. And 19 for a 20.
Well, to be fair, the second one was Arcana, but that was a 19 on the dice with a plus.
Oh, really?
It's fine. We're gonna use the 19 on the
Do
dice
the roll.
plus your deception.
I don't know how
for
to click.
21. All good. And then if you want to, you can throw the guidance in there too.
Oh, shot. All right. A 4 brings out an extra 2.
24 total.
Mm-hmm.
He buys it hook, line, and sinker and says, "Oh, I knew there was something special about our friendship that was really beyond words. It was actually about our values. We both keep a veneer of of pride and strength and morality, and yet underneath, you and I are the same. We are people who will do whatever it takes. Would you say that's true?
Indubitably.
Well then, I have to say, it is not an easy organization to get in, but I have some contacts, and we could go together to go into the depths of Westrune, and we could go and find them and journey along this path, as we are, as I mentioned, long-time friends. Come. And he actually stands up.
Oh, we going now. I'm gonna finish my drink. So she does glance over at Hosen in a second, looks at them. This is something we want to go into right now?
This is such a grand gesture, and thank you so much for wanting to make introductions. Unfortunately, we're missing a party member, a dear friend, who would love to be a part of this as well. So let us go grab him, and we'll be right back, and we could go all together, as one.
You're not going to tell anybody about this, are you?
Why would we? We want to be a part of this.
Okay, now Hosen, since you're getting in here, let's do another deception check, but you can also do it with advantage.
All right, let's go.
Can I say guidance?
Yes, you can.
Guidance. You can
Guidance.
say it. Say it all you want. Go.
Guidance.
Gudon's, well, that's 20 plus. What are these rolls right now? 23.
Okay. He says, of course, it was silly of me to even consider the fact that we, the new entrants into the clasp, would ever backstab each other. I will be here. Would you like to bring your glasses with you? Well, if not, I'll finish them myself, and then you'll come back and we'll have some more.
Big Mama Mocha just like tosses that shit back and he says, "We'll be back for more."
Okay.
I grabbed the money before I forget.
Let's go.
Second opens the door, steps out of the door, but then immediately like to the left out of the view of the mayor.
Yeah.
Casts invisibility, and then tries to hop back into the house before Hosen and Rain get out.
Okay. Why don't you make a dexterity check?
Ah, he said.
Yeah, clerics are great. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, second, you cast invisibility, and you are trying to, as I understand it, definitely pop back into the house as the door is shutting, so that there is no disturbance to the door on its journey from open to closed.
I'm trying to get back before Hosen and Rain leave, so I'm more likely to bump into them than I am the door.
Okay. Are you doing it within view of Hosen and Big Mama?
That depends on where they stand. My goal is to get out of the view of the mayor, so if they're close enough to the door to see me, I don't know where they're at. So
I
Okay.
think I was standing close by to you, so I feel like I would have seen you at least like cast something or just go around the door, but not know what you were doing.
Okay. Fair enough. So this is how we're going to resolve this. Hosen, since you're probably the first one out of the house, I'm just going to go ahead and say that you probably did not see what happened on the other side of the door.
No.
And you feel a thump. It's light, but it's in your shoulder. And you're not sure what it was, but there was definitely something that you felt like you ran into.
when I bump into Hosen, I would like to whisper, "How are your eggs?"
Hosen hears this and kind of plays it off like, oh, I just tripped over my own shoe. Oh, silly me, clumsy me. Keep walking.
Okay, performance.
Valid.
Super valid.
7.
Also valid.
So Lornan kind of sees what's going on here, and at this point he's a little bit tipsy, and he calls out and says, "You all be careful walking out there. You know, stealth and dexterity were kind of a big thing in this." and he just kind of goes back to drinking and smoking. And you, second, are now inside of the door, and the door closes behind you.
If any of the smoke comes near second, they'll just be like and try and like get it away so it doesn't like enshroud their person.
Like you can't fly, but you got wings.
Okay, so now we've got 3 separate scenes happening, and and Jacob, I felt very bad for you. This is literally
I'm having a fucking great time.
The entire campaign in Eulalia was Jacob managing 3 separate scenes.
Yep, sure was. It feels great to be on the other side of this.
So let's hop over to you, Jacob. I think we're probably really only about, I would say, maybe an hour into your casting of this.
Certainly.
You had talked a little bit about what this looked like.
Sure.
But are you? And I don't know. Maybe this is just a larger question generally.
Yeah.
Are you conscious during this? Are you paying attention to the surroundings, or what is your focus on?
I think it's on just because the way that I sort of envisioned it is like this sort of not quite. It's almost like a dance, but there is like some footwork, and he's sort of moving the one staff and then the second, and sort of behind them. It's like a reverse mowing, right? Like, so like behind him as he moves, like the plants are beginning to grow. He's completely conscious during it. It doesn't require concentration.
Okay.
It's just more like I'm doing this over the course of 8 hours, really.
Gotcha. Okay. So there isn't like a lack of attention to your surroundings. You're just kind of you are required to do a certain movement or chant or something along those lines.
Right.
And maybe an hour in, it's starting to feel a little bit rote and repetitive, and you're kind of in the groove at this moment. So
right.
I would say, we did establish that you were kind of close to the mayor's house.
Sure.
Maybe not necessarily right there, but if you are positioned in a place where you can see the mayor's house, I would say that at this moment you do see Hosen and Big Mama come out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, assuming that you're probably not going to stop casting the spell, I'm going to kick it back over to Hosen and Big Mama. Now that you're outside, what would you like to do?
I think Hosen, after an encounter with would Hosen know that second turned invisible, or would it just be like I just hear whisper in the wind and that's kind of
pretty familiar one.
So I feel like second's trying to do something, and want to see if I can.
So here's what I'll say: I don't believe you've ever seen him seen them turn invisible up until this point. So from that perspective, I would think that you wouldn't necessarily know what they're trying to do.
Gotcha.
Specifically. But that said, I think the mention of your eggs, being something that they have experienced before, it is a reference. It's sort of like an inside joke in some ways. You probably know that there's something going on, that they're trying to like do. You just don't know what it is.
Gotcha. I think Hosen kind of takes note Turns to Big Mama Mocha and goes, I think second needs back up, but because
Is he
once
still in there?
I think they are.
They're
I
still
don't know
in there.
why, but I think they are.
Hmm. Yeah.
I can. I could use this cloak that I have. I can make myself hard to see. I can kind of stand around the perimeter to see if anything weird happens, if anything changes. If I hear any bumps, noises, anything. But we have this information that the mayor has done something quite sinister, partnering up with the clasp and being part of the
Mhm.
clasp. Gotta tell somebody.
Who are you thinking that we should tell about that?
Um, well, the shields are gone from the city. There's no higher authority. Um, I don't know who to tell.
You know, I'm kind of feeling that we should let him take us to where he was going to say and see how that plays out.
We are heading that
That's
direction.
yeah. But how long are we going to stay here while seconds in there?
As long as
Or
they
what
need.
is he going to do? And then we've got Cinnabon out there for a good while longer. So what should we do in the interim?
Find a good hiding spot.
Yeah,
Go get Sin, Cinnabon. If you want to go.
we're gonna we're gonna disturb him.
True. Um,
And 1 second, you said that Cinnabon's an hour away from us, or we just been chilling for an hour?
So the casting of the spell takes 8 full hours. I was just marking time that we are 1 hour into that. But
Okay.
you could see him. Let's call it 200 feet away or something. He's out in the field, kind of flipping things around.
Yeah. Think like Yuna's like sending dance from Final Fantasy X, if you're familiar.
nice.
While you're outside and you are kind of looking around, I just for for reasons dot dot dot. I want to also point out that you are relatively close to the Parchwood Way, and it is worthwhile to point out that at this moment you see a rather large caravan go by. 3 or 4 carriages, too far away to make anything out, but it is not necessarily strange, but just worthwhile to point out. You are close enough to the Parchwood Way that you would see this. Carry on.
Heading west?
Yes.
Because I think
Oh,
Cinnamon would
is
see
that
it too, I
normal?
assume.
What's that, Rain?
I was saying hosen. Is that normal?
Not out of the ordinary, but definitely large. I'm gonna go hide. Puts on the cloak, that shimmering effect. I think Hosen goes, if I don't want to break Cinnabon's concentration, but because I know what they're doing is a good cause, and I want to give them as much time as they need. and someone should stay lookout for a second. I'll try to hide, try to be stealthy, stay off eyesight. If you want to go, maybe talk to Cinnabon and see what he thinks.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Now, if things here go pear-shaped and I'm way over there, all I know to come back over here and save your raggedy hide.
That's fair. If danger comes, I can find safety. Or danger comes for a second. Second won't be alone.
You're not going to be more heroes without me, are you? And she winks at you.
I know you'll always have my back.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
let me go. Because I don't run, but I definitely will walk briskly over to Cinnabon. So
Sounds
Big Mama
good.
Mocha is going to go ahead and now, make her way as quick as she can
Make your way.
over to Cinnabon.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm gonna activate the cloak to be stealthy and hide in tall grass.
Okay, so you're gonna basically be
Is
very
there Pokemon in there?
Yeah, exactly.
you're gonna be very close to the mayor's mansion and just hang out in like the grass there.
Yeah.
Okay, make a stealth check.
You got it.
20.
Fuck yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, with the aid of this cloak, you blend in perfectly. Okay. Now I want to go to second. Smitty, what are they doing inside of this house?
Well, two things. Second does not know what Big Mama did to win the mayor over, but they suspect it was unnatural. And second knows of their own castings that they, for the most part, are not permanent.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to see if, after Big Mama leaves, gets out of eyesight, moves a certain distance away after a certain amount of time, anything, if the mayor's demeanor changes, and then see what the mayor does.
Okay.
Second thing, Second has spent many of his formative years hiding to avoid beatings, and has gotten very proficient at simply standing still. They're making no move. They know they're not a stealthy individual. They are not going to move at all. They're going to stand in the exact same place and just watch.
No clinking.
No clinking.
Okay. Okay. So what you see, as of right now, is Lornan Thistlewhip just vibing on the couch. He's got his
Headphones in.
He's got his drink. He is pulling on his cigar. He is just loving the fact that his best friend in the entire world is now going to be joining him on this journey into infamy, and that is what you are currently seeing. He's doing a little bit of like smoke circles, and I rolled a 4 on smoke circles, so he doesn't really know how to do it. So it just kind of looks comical, and maybe Second doesn't really know what that is supposed to look like, but he's doing something with his mouth, and Second, it is not like anything you've ever seen before. But it kind of looks gross and maybe a little bit inappropriate.
Yo, Rain, we're at Sahara's right now. Straight up.
I don't think Second is experienced enough in the world to know that something would be inappropriate. So they just watch.
Okay, fair. I mean, that's all you are going to see for now.
Yep.
Now, I want to come back to this very quickly in a second, but I want to pop over to Cinnabon
Sure.
and Big Mama. So, Big Mama, you are coming up to Cinnabon. Cinnabon, looking at the components, which is not necessarily something that I care too much about, except
Certainly.
in these kinds of situations, because you have a verbal component, I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of chanting. There is also a somatic component, and so I feel as though, except in like very subtle ways, your ability to reciprocate communication is going to be very difficult. But
Certainly.
you can listen. So
Certainly.
go ahead.
Interesting.
Big Mama, you're on your way.
All right, so she's speed walking up there, very out of breath. And she's like, oh, I know you're busy right now. Just kind of blink when you kind of notice something. All right. So Mel Thistlewick, he's part of the class. We're besties right now. And she's watching. She's like, does Cinnabon?
There is an acknowledgement. What languages does Big Mama know?
Common, Druidic, Goblin, and Halfling.
All right. So this sounds like a sweet song. In that's sort of a you as you listen to, he's kind of like, it's not quite singing, it is a bit of a chant. At sort of a higher octave than his typical voice. And it sort of slides into a language that you don't really know, but then it slides back into Druidic a little bit, and it's so you sort of recognize the chanting a little bit, and then it sort of fades out a bit. And he sort of meets your glance with a just like a nod of like acknowledgement.
Okay.
And a bit of a kind of a furrowed brow, probably at the clasp part.
Okay. But wait, there's more. So, second is actually hiding in the mayor's mansion, and Hosen is hiding outside the mayor's mansion, because the mayor is going to go ahead and take us on some sort of tour over to the class so we can become members of the class, or so he thinks. And so that is where we are right now, and we are all waiting for you to finish per se, or at least give us some sort of heads up, so that way when we go back over there, we can go ahead and just rain some hellfire, or join the class. Whatever happens is, we're waiting on you. Ish.
As he's like chanting and spinning around, you hear in Druidic, "Oh, no pressure then." And then it's like he kind of slides back into a chant and then back out to where like the Druidic is, and says, "Where exactly is this location?" And then slides back in, and like it's like this like weird roller coaster ride of like 3 words blam, 3 words blam.
Somewhere. We don't know yet, actually. He wasn't very forthcoming with that. I'm sorry, Bill. Was he actually even telling us where it is, or just telling us like where he was going to take us, right?
I think you said West Run at some point.
Yeah. Okay. So Big Mama does
Run.
repeat that. The depths. Ooh, of West Run. I have to write that down. So she does convey that back over to Cinnabon.
Okay. Well, before or after the Shade Barrow?
It sounded like it was going to be like right now. To see who gave him that bracelet. We aren't forgetting what's going on, with your family. We just got this hitch. See what we're going to do about it. So we're just going to see about with you. Do you think we should go ahead and wait for you? Go without you? Blink once, blink twice. Press 1.
Ooh. I suppose you can. I can catch up in the morning.
Just like I told Hosen, we are not trying to, cause us to be heroes without you, without anybody left out. So I will hold him to the same standards I hold all of us. So I just want to go and let you know that. And we're going to go out and see what we can find a little bit and come back and check on you.
All right, I'll be here.
All right. X marks the spot. And she just runs off and starts speed walking then back over to the mayor's mansion.
Okay.
Dilemma.
And yeah.
So what I would say is that Big Mama knows that Charm.
Is Bill? Are we losing Bill?
No. I'm here. It says internet
Whoa.
connection unstable. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
a little bit.
Do you mind starting that over?
Yes. So you know that Charm
Froyo,
person,
Bill.
huh?
Froyo.
You know that Charm person lasts an hour. Are you still not getting it?
We got you back now, but now audio, but your video is still frozen.
Uh-oh.
Got the audio, but video still.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I don't know why.
Weird.
Yeah, see that it froze.
Uh-oh.
I don't like that. Uh-oh. That's a long uh-oh.
Frozen uh-oh.
Everything looks good on my end.
Stream's clocking.
I mean, stream performance looks good. Internet looks good. Everything looks good. Maybe...
Weird.
You're slowly coming back.
Oh, shoot.
You got anything extraneous to kill?
Fucking WebEx for some reason is open. Yeah, let me Control-Alt-Delete and see if there's anything.
Oh, yeah. WebEx is a hog.
Task Manager. Streamlabs. I can get out of that, right?
You're adorable.
No, I seriously think it's just my internet. I don't know why, because like this computer has never had issues.
Is the entirety of your family playing Minecraft right now?
I think you're better-ish now.
Better-ish.
Oh,
Yeah.
You seem fine, more or less. Okay. PSA, kids, this is why you don't stream porn while you're also streaming on Twitch.
Lesson learned.
Well, yeah, that's why the upload speed is so slow on this. Because I'm uploading the porn.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Thanks for the explanation.
Okay. All right.
It's OnlyFans. It's not fans and Twitch, Bill. That's why it's
Yeah.
That's a future buyout soon, though.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So here's what I was saying. So I think Rain would know. I'm sorry, not Rain. Big Mama would know that Charm Person lasts an hour. And so
Certainly.
I would say at this moment, with kind of walking back and forth, you've probably spent, let's say, 40 minutes. So you still have 20 minutes left. And if, depending upon what you would like to do, I think you know that time is coming up.
Certainly. Concentration, maybe.
Simultaneously, Second is having the same thought on their invisibility inside of the room.
But I
Now,
have like 25.
I remember who cast the spell first. So we'll see how that resolves depending upon what. Because right now, Second and Big Mama cannot communicate unless there's, some sort of opening of doors. Discuss.
How's that
Riveting.
caravan looking?
Gone.
Gone. Cool. That is too far away. Got it.
Sorry.
Well, I'm just vibing in the bush.
Bush vibes.
Yeah,
Bulbasaur hanging out in there.
Just Bulbasaur hanging out, just like a Rattata, just chilling.
Can Big Mama see any of them as she's coming back to the house?
Great
mansion?
question. Great question. I don't think so because Hosen is hidden. And Hosen got like a nat 20 on that, or a dirty 20 or something like that.
Dirty 20, something ridiculous.
But Hosen, you see Big Mama come back, so I assume you would probably not just be like, "Hey, trick."
Got him.
You hear battle music as the Pokemon battle music plays.
I see the auto save in the bottom of the
Swirl.
screen.
Yeah,
the
right,
swirl
right.
happens.
Hosen will remember this.
Hosen goes up to Big Mama and goes, hello. Don't want to scare you. Sorry.
There you are.
Anything happen?
No. Cinnabon is going to stay because he is still in the midst of his tutting out there. And so if we need to, we can go on without him as far as we can, because we've got a little bit of time left before the mayor realizes that I charmed him.
I mean, we don't have anyone to talk to. If word gets out of the mayor, once the mayor realizes what happened, he is not the best individual. I feel like the clasp is going to be worn of what happened. Maybe we try to get as much information out of the mayor, even more so. Take him to town. Wait for tell the town to get the shields from West Run. Bring him in, or I don't know. Maybe we just go in there and, just knock him out. See if just like
getting all aggressive.
Well, this is a very, I think this mayor is a very dangerous man. Despite the outwardly charm, Hosen says in big air quotes. The mayor is hiding a lot of information. Who's to say? Maybe he tries to play it off or ignores it, but I think we just can't take that chance. I think we need to, once the spell drops, either go back in, or we could try to play it up, being like, "Oh, we're back. Let's go on an adventure." And see what he says, and if that doesn't work, just knock him out.
I am fine for plan A segueing into plan B.
Yeah,
because I can charm him again. I really can. Look at me. I can do it.
No doubt about that.
So
I like that plan too. I think that might be a better plan. Just keep on charming him.
Yeah. That being said, if we don't be successful at that, you know, he's gonna be madder than a wet hen. So, what I wager, we need to also see what's going to be going on with second while they're in there,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
that part.
Idea.
So our plan is Plan B and C, and what
Yep.
what second is doing in there, that's Plan A,
Yes. Yes.
right? Okay.
Agreed. Yes.
Now what? We wait.
Now we kind of wait. Another idea I had was maybe like grab the charm and blackmail the mayor. Just like write a little note saying like, "Yo, we know everything. If you come for us, we won't say anything. But if you come for us, we will find you and spill everything." Kind of a deal.
Now, do you still have the bracelet?
I don't, but we can try to get it.
We can get it.
Can get it.
We can get it on him. We can get it.
Mm-hmm. Just
Ah, ah.
light roughhousing.
Like roughhousing.
Let's wait for a second. Let's see what second
Okay.
does. Let's stay back. If anything happens in there, we try to charm him again. If that doesn't work, steal a bracelet, blackmail, go from there.
Okay.
We're trying to Ocean's 11 this thing.
We're Oceans too.
Yeah, Ocean's 2.
Ocean's
small.
Ocean's small.
Oceans
Just
small.
Pond 2. All right.
Okay.
Amazing.
No, it's actually Sunhelm too, right? There you go.
Yeah, there we go. There's Sunhelm 2. There we go. All right.
Beautiful. Okay, here's what happens. Second, you have been standing still as ever in this one spot, watching him hang out, wait for his best friend to come back, and get increasingly tipsy. And then, as you have been standing for maybe 57 minutes, you could see he seems to come to, almost like out of a bit of a dream, and shakes his head and then says, "Those fucking rats," and stands up and runs to the door that's on the left in the back end of the room, swings open the door violently, and then heads in.
Is he making a racket as he moves?
Yes, no caution to the wind, and as fast as possible.
Second will move after them then. Still like, no, fuck it. Second will just go. Second
Okay.
will go.
Okay. So not trying to be stealthy at all?
No, if he's making noise, I'm not going to try and be stealthy.
Perfect. Makes sense. Okay. Are you still invisible? Yes, you are. You still have 3 minutes of invisibility left. Okay.
Yeah.
So, where are you? Where are you standing?
I was standing near the front door. I got in the door and I just stopped. So the moment I see him go through that door, I'll do two things. I'll open the front door, and then I will book for where he went into that other door inside the house.
Okay. So Hosen, Big Mama, you see the door swing open, almost as though it is, propelled by nothing. And then I think because you were so close to the front door, you would see, or you would hear kind of very, very light footsteps heading in, because Second is not trying to be sneaky with the way that, and as established, there is definitely a hardwood floor that the footsteps have been resonating against when the butler would come to the front door. So yes, there are definitely footsteps there. That said, Second, you said you're booking it, right? So are you going to the entryway of that left-handed door?
Yeah, I'm straight following him at this point.
Are you going into the room?
Yeah, wherever he goes, I go. Like if I get to the door and it's a small room and he's just hanging out there, I'm not gonna like bust in.
Okay, perfect.
So, what do I see when I get to the room?
Yeah, let me describe what you see when you enter. When you're standing at that door,
Okay.
you see a rather large bay window, and there is on this bay window a little reading nook, and there's like pillows. It's very nice. There's a bookshelf that is there as well. With you wouldn't know this in the brief look that you're getting at the moment. There is also a cage on a stand. And this is a very elaborate cage on a stand. It's relatively small, maybe 18 inches in diameter and maybe 3 feet tall on top of the stand. And inside, there is a bird. And this bird is a raven. And you see him go over to some stationery that he has. And he is starting to, like, you can jump in at any time. I'm describing it in real time as you are seeing it.
I understand. I am.
He is starting to write a letter, scribbling it very quickly.
I will cast
He has finished the letter.
Spiritual Weapon.
Okay?
You see a giant flaming phoenix above his desk. And I will bring the phoenix's claws down on the desk, shattering the desk if I can, just to throw him off trying to write his letter, cause him to drop it, whatever.
Okay, I am going to roll a Constitution save.
That was like Dumbledore and Fox.
Motherfucker.
Hey. Natural 1. This mirror is bad.
The best part is I have no idea what is being rolled. I just know there's a 1.
Yeah, so he rolls a 1 on his Constitution saving throw, and this giant phoenix, and you said the phoenix slaps their hand?
Yeah, with its claw, like its claws just shreds the desk. Again, not him, not the bird, just the desk.
Okay. All right. So he has already removed the letter from the desk and was in transit from the desk to the Raven.
Yep.
And so the desk itself is now, I won't say torn to shreds, but it definitely has these giant claw marks in it. If you would like to, you can make an attack roll against it, but I feel like that's kind of superfluous at the moment, and it's less important, perhaps. But you do what you think is best.
I'm no longer invisible. 1. So I will run in front of the Phoenix. So the entirety of the Phoenix is behind me, standing over the desk. And I will say, "I'll kill you last," in Yeti's voice, seeing if he had a connection there.
And remind me, this is a perfect rendition of Yeti's voice, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we didn't resolve the 1, and we didn't resolve this, which I think is also an intimidation roll, but let's hold off on that for a second. So let's resolve the 1. He fumbles the note, and the note tumbles down to the ground. And he is terrified at this moment, and he looks over at the window. That's in the back of the room here. And why don't you roll an intimidation check on top of that?
Okay.
And you can do this with advantage because it makes a whole lot of sense.
The second is scary as fuck.
That was with disadvantage. I got a 12 and a 3, so that should really be a 14. I did it with disadvantage instead of advantage. So
Okay. 14.
Yeah.
Okay, with a 14, I think that's still solid enough. And you can see that he is starting to have his knees kind of buckle a little bit as he is trying to just mentally understand what is going on at the moment. And he says, You bastards. You'll never get away with this. And he reaches down to try and pick up the letter again.
Well, this is all happening. I don't know how much time we've got. I don't know what my friends are doing.
I think I don't want to speak for Big Mom Mocha as well, but I think Hosen, as soon as the door opens, starts hearing noise,
Yeah.
rushes in.
Yep.
But like doesn't know where the mayor went, so it's probably just searching the house. Like we can like resolve.
Yeah, I think what
Anything
could
else?
happen is we could establish that you're running in, and then we'll give second one thing to do,
Yep.
then the mayor one thing to do, and then Big Mom, are you running in too?
Yes. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
As we were like chilling with the mayor and everything that just transpired since we finally got back into town, did we at any point take a rest, like a short rest or anything?
Not since you've been back in town.
Gotcha.
So
Cool.
so
So yeah, she just comes in.
no wild shapes. Sorry.
Damn. That's right.
I know. I know.
So go ahead, Smitty. What is second doing?
If the mayor goes for the note,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for the cage, and just try and grab the cage.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And so does Big Mama Mocha, does she see then the letter?
So
She's coming kind of like in-ish after that.
So what Big Mama and Hosen see is second with their arms around the cage, and the mayor, who is just in the middle of trying to wrest open the door of the cage to get the raven out. So you're going to come in the middle of a strength contest between the mayor and second.
Love that.
Fucking hell. I got to start fudging my rolls.
Straight.
He says out loud to everyone.
I need to start cheating. Damn. That's how you know you're good at D&D.
Oh my god! It's a tie.
It's a tie. Okay, so well, it's not a success and it's not a failure. So
a tug of war.
it is a tug of war, and so the mayor kind of has his hands grasped around the door of the cage. Second's arm is positioned just so that the door cannot fully open because their arms is sort of preventing it from opening, and you can see that there is this kind of tug of war going on at the moment. We should probably be in initiative order, but I don't know. That's not super interesting. So, Big Mama, why don't you go first? And what is Big Mama doing as you see this?
Right. She just like grabs like Hosen by the shoulder. And she's like, Plan C.
Plan C.
Plan C. She casts snare on the mayor.
Snare on the mayor?
It's a snare snare. Spare?
Mayor
Snare.
Snare.
That's not
it.
Snare.
That must be one of those Pokemon that Hosen was hanging out with.
Yeah. We've come up with like 7 different like titles at this point.
Oh, God.
There's a Care Bear stare over there. Like,
It's a mayor. It's a mayor snare. But where's the hair?
Oh.
yeah.
That's gonna be the YouTube title.
All right.
Okay, so why don't you... I'm not actually very familiar with this spell, so why don't you tell me how this thing works?
Sure, it's a rope that circles a 5-foot radius on the ground or the floor. And it's going to become a magic trap, that circle. It's nearly invisible, and it's requiring a successful intelligence check against my spell DC, my spell save DC to be discerned. And it can be to the mayor's size, so it's like small, medium, or large, and they must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or be magically hoisted into the air, leaving it to be hanging upside down above the ground or the floor, and they are restrained there until the spell ends, and it lasts for 1 minute. It is touch.
Okay, well, so the touch spell is on rope. So, because one of the material components is 30 feet of cord or rope, which is fine. Like, I imagine you probably have this pretty well accessible. So you basically have this magically infused rope in your hands at the moment. And The quarter rope disappears to become a magical trap. And so I imagine you kind of just like toss it in the mayor's direction.
Mm-hmm. Like lassoing that shit and just tossing it over there.
Okay, perfect. Since this is a an instance where the spell is like the person you are trying to snare is immediately visible to you. It's not like you're kind of putting this in the middle of a trail, and waiting for someone to come across it. This is instead you then using it to trap them. I think we're just going to go straight to the dexterity saving throw. Does that sound fair?
Okay. All right, your the mayor's dexterity saving throw to my spell save DC.
That's right.
14 would be the save.
That is only a 10. All right. So what happens when this trap goes off?
Yeah, she takes it and tosses it at him, and it's just for him, not like really anything else. It will wrap around his ankle, so they kind of like lock together, and then you see him just kind of go ass over tea kettle up into the air, and he's hoisted completely upside down, few feet up, like in just like a nanosecond, just hanging up there.
All right. Beautiful. And that's where I think we are going to take our break. We have the situation being second, Hosen and Big Mama are basically just in the middle of taking advantage of the mayor. And then we zoom out to Cinnabon, who's currently still casting his spell. Now, what I will say, Cinnabon, before we do go on break here, is that now we are 2 hours into your spell, and you are starting to see the effects of the spell take root.
Yeah, there's some excitement there. I take God damn it, the worst. A quick question around that. Like visually,
Yeah.
like was there anything that I like? Obviously, the door opened, like, and I eventually would catch that. But I'm curious around like second stuff, like if there's anything that I would have caught.
Not from
there.
second stuff, but you
Okay,
did
cool.
see
That's
the
perfectly
door,
fine.
the door open, and then Big Mama and
Cool.
Hosen rush inside very, very violently and with great haste. So something's going on in there.
Great.
But the fruits of your labor is worthwhile as you look down and there are a few
Cool.
buds coming out of the ground.
Decisions to be made. Love it.
6 more hours to go.
Mm-hmm. It's like my own personal episode of 24.
It's just my work day every single day. Just 6 more hours to go. All right. We got it.
All right. We'll be back in roughly about 10 minutes. See you in a bit. Welcome back, everybody. We are in a bit of a tussle here. Just before we went to break, Big Mama cast Snare on the mayor of this town. The quiet, unassuming, if maybe a bit aloof mayor is now caught in your web, hanging from the ceiling from an invisible snare that you have set. There is damage to the desk that the mayor was writing something, and the note that he was writing, that he was carrying across to get to where the raven was inside of that cage, is now scattered on the floor. And it would not be it would not be fair to say that there is not a ton of commotion inside of this room, even now that everything has slowed down. The raven that is inside of this cage is now afraid and unnerved and is now making a ton of noise. And you can also see that the demeanor of the mayor, now completely upside down, has shifted entirely. Hosen, you've met this mayor a couple of times before. You've seen him around town. You may have interacted with him a couple of times. And he's always been sort of, as I mentioned, a little bit jovial, but definitely, standoffish in some ways. But never the way that he is right now, which is pissed off and a little bit scared. So I'm gonna give the action over to Big Mama as the person that sort of snared him. What would you like to do?
As she walks over to she is going to go ahead and activate her shillelagh and also primal savagery. So like her claws kind of just like wrap around it, just giving that extra just panache to the mood that he's currently not wanting to be in. And so she just like, what the fuzz? And what was it you were trying to send, friend?
He manages to pull together all of the available vitriol contained within him at the moment, and says, "Nothing that you would understand, nothing that is worth explaining to you." And there is a bit of an irony between the powerlessness in his current state as well versus the fact that he is incredibly upset and angry at you all. And you could see that he is trying to struggle against this snare. Now, I'm also reading this last part of the snare spell, which says that they can make a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage at the end of its turns. Now, granted, we're not an initiative. However, I am going to do this kind of a little bit ad hoc, as it makes sense in the conversation, that he is going to try and struggle against this. So this is going to be the first time that he's going to try this. You know what? I'm deciding against this because the snare is only wrapped up in his feet, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. You notice that he's starting to try and swing himself. He's trying to get up and swing back and forth like this. And as he's doing this, he begins taunting and saying, You all have no idea what it is that you are getting yourselves into. You, of course, have come into the Turst Fields thinking that you know everything, thinking that you are better than everybody that you are around, presuming yourselves as heroes, bringing back something that's, yes, of course, it was a heroic act, but that does not make you heroes. That makes you servants of a higher cause. It makes you somebody that doesn't understand the greater machinations that are happening inside of this world. You are peons, you're peasants. And he is moving back and forth more and more, like the pendulum is swinging larger and larger.
How heavy is the cage? Like, Second still has his arms around it. Is it very heavy or for the cage?
No, it's fairly light.
Like, as he's speaking, I'm just gonna take the cage and walk out of the room and put it down on a table out there.
Sure.
And then, assuming there's a tablecloth on like a dining room table or a table with like many expensive glass dishes or something, I'm just gonna yank the shit out of that and, like, in the middle of a speech, knock all those glass dishes on the ground and then just cover the bird up with the tablecloth so it calms down.
Aw, that's very sweet. Why don't you roll an animal handling check?
Sure. With advantage, because
I would say with advantage because this raven is having a very strange crisis at the moment, looking at you.
What is the advantage button for? Is it shift?
Yeah.
What is it for? It's not working. Oh, there we go. Yep.
The advantage button is do it twice.
Nice.
Nice. Okay, yeah, no problem. You are able to, even though the fact that you have created more ruckus now with creating a bunch of sound, crashing a bunch of plates and cups and whatnot on the floor, you cover it up, and the raven begins being more calm.
One last thing I'll do. Sorry, I'll go over and close the front door. Sorry, Cinnabon. If I see Cinnabon, I'll like wave. I'll give a thumbs up when I close the door.
Perfect.
Oh my god, that's amazing! That's amazing!
Cinnabon, you see a second poke their head out. Give you
First
a wave.
the crashing, right? The crashing sound, which is what I was going to react to, first of all.
Yeah, just like out there, just like.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, right. Like I'm knitting, right? Like, yep. And I think he just says the word trust and continues.
Like,
yeah. Robo, when you open up commissions, I'm 100% commissioning that Smitty gift.
Yes.
All right. Here is the first save with disadvantage. That's a 3 and a 5. So
Wow.
a 5 and a 7 with a dex. So that's
plus 10. No.
Yeah, that's definitely a fail. Okay. So even with this, he's still swinging back and forth. And yeah. So what would the others like to do? Hosen and Big Mama.
Snares around the legs.
Correct.
The hands are pretty much free, or
free, very free.
Free. Cool. I go up and try to grab that bracelet from him. Try to grab the clasp little bracelet. Just remove that off his person as kind of, as the mayor would put it, a reward.
Sure. I don't think I'm gonna make you roll for this because he's more or less restrained. You pretty much have the ability to take whatever you would like off of him. So no problem. You now have the that bracelet.
Perfect. I pocket it. Hosen kind of looks at the mayor hanging upside down, still taunting, trying to just being elitist. And the Hosen really wants to just walk away, just have him hanging there. But Hosen, out of curiosity, just asks, why would you bring about so much pain and hurt to this town? Just why?
You're asking me about bringing pain and hurt to this town? You, Hosen? You of the Sunhelm family? You that is married to Balthazar Sunhelm, the one that provides lackluster leather goods to this town, the one that decides that they are going to live in semi-isolation from your better place over in Westruun. You think that you can come here and think that you are better than us, that you are somebody that can walk amongst the peasants out here in the middle of the town, the fields, and as he is swinging still, and the magnitude of his swing is getting higher, he reaches over to a shelf that is nearby and grabs
Go for it.
and grabs a knife.
Hosen turns into his giant self and grapples him.
Okay. Make an attack roll with advantage.
Cool. Like attack, so like strength check or athletics kind of deal. Like
Man.
trying to grapple or
Yeah, I think it's grapple. I think grapple is an attack roll. It is like a melee attack.
Yeah, you
it's like
typically you're sacrificing swinging for damage by.
Gotcha. So I can use my rapier stats or like as an unarmed strike kind of a deal.
I believe it would be an unarmed strike.
Cool. All right. Since I'm in my giant form, I could do this with advantage.
It will be an athletics check contested by the target's strength or athletics. Or dexterity. Fantastic. Okay, that's good.
That is actually very good to know. But I'm still in my giant form and I could still do it with advantage because giant man is great. All right, so I'm going to use athletics. 19.
Okay, and I'm going to roll.
Whew. Oh boy.
There it is.
Come on now. Come on. Then we
That is-
grapple somebody.
That is a nat 20 plus 2, so 22.
There it is.
Even though he is upside down and restrained, and you had advantage on
Spider-Man.
the roll,
Still very sweaty.
he's incredibly sweaty, even more so
He's
now.
actually a water genasi, actually, at this point.
He is able to sort of maneuver around you as you are trying to reach out with your hands, and now taking the knife, he is going to put this inside of you if he's able to.
Hot.
Now, remind me.
Just the word.
Consent?
No.
Remind me. You have your armor on, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Oh, that's not going to do it. Okay, so it does lodge itself against your armor, and as you look down, you can see that there is this black ichor covering the blade of this dagger. And unfortunately for him, it kind of glances off of your armor and is unable to penetrate it. And he says, I should have known that you all would ruin everything. You and your friends, and this is all just disgusting.
Hosen grabs his rapier and makes an attack against him, trying to go for the hand to see if I can knock this knife out.
Yeah,
Oh.
please. I mean, aimed attacks isn't really a thing in 5e.
True.
But let's just kind of back of the envelope
Duval.
say it'll be an attack with disadvantage.
Cool.
Yeah, like unless you're battle master.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I'm going to roll twice here. Here's the first one. And here is the second. 23 and a 21.
Holy shit.
Let's go, baby.
All right. So yeah, no problem. You are able to attack his hand. Why don't you roll damage on that thing?
Yeah. Piercing damage. That is an 8.
An 8. Okay. Give me 1 sec as I look up. Well, actually, you have it probably in front of you. Rapiers, do they do slicing damage or piercing damage? Or both?
Piercing.
Piercing. So it's kind of like you take your hand and go like this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
Stab it straight through the palm.
So you stab it straight through the palm, and just for flavor, like you are like right next to where that cage was on top of the pedestal, sort of thing, and you pin his hands to the top of the pedestal.
Yes.
Second walks in just as Hosen does that, and it like starts and then goes, "A violent hand is an unjust hand."
The irony.
And by the way, second, you are in this room as well. Is there anything that you would like to be doing?
Just saying that at the appropriate time. That's all.
Fantastic. Okay, now you've got his hand pinned. What would you like to do?
Hosen leans down because now I'm large. Looks at him, looks at the blade. That was mercy. Try anything again. I'm gonna pierce your throat.
I'll move my phoenix behind Hosen when they say this.
Okay. So a couple things happen. One, and I probably should have mentioned this before, but as you pierce his hand, it goes right through the center of his wrist here.
Ow.
And completely, yeah, right? And completely disengaging the dagger. And so that clatters on top of that metal pedestal in front of you. That black ichor that is coating the blade still on it. Now, remind me, how much damage did you do?
8.
8? Okay. That's significant. And you can see that he is beginning to... the color that was in his face is beginning to go out. It's like very pale at the moment. And he says, "Try anything. How about letting me go and then I'll try something?" Big
Hosen
Mama
just sticks the rapier, goes a little bit deeper. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I put this in your hands. I'm not... Personally, I'm not sure what the goal is here. But very happy to play this out. What would the three of you like to do? He's silent at the moment.
Yeah.
But sweaty.
Very sweaty.
Yeah.
A puddle even.
After, yeah, that he says that and she sees Hosen testing out his torture artist skills, she's gonna go ahead and walk up to him, to Thistlewick, and just like put her hands on him, like on his wrist there, and not like an aggressive gesture, but hopefully this works again. She casts again Charm Person.
Oh shit.
Okay. Okay.
And she's...
So let's
Does that
talk-
work with him in the midst of pain?
Yeah.
It'll be an advantage because you're basically in the midst of kind of attacking him, and so
Yeah,
I'm
hostile.
gonna roll with advantage. But that said, I do. But as you're coming over, I kind of want to do a little bit of ad hoc world building because Big Mama has an accent, right? And we've never really talked about this before, but I'm wondering if you, Rain, think that the accent that Big Mama has is specific to the region of Tal'dorei that you come from, or is this just kind of an affectation from the countryside or something along those lines?
Yeah, it came from not necessarily Tal'dorei, but it was from a from where she was raised, and essentially just the her guardian. They had an accent, so
Mm.
that's where she picked it up because that's essentially this all she heard. Reads common easily, whatnot, but just that was the accent in which they had.
Yeah, so I guess I'm trying to establish whether or not there is a stereotype associated with that accent. Is this something that's in your conversations with others in not necessarily Catal Swamp, but maybe in Stillbin or some of those other places that people have kind of grouped you into one class maybe or one region maybe before or something along those lines strictly based upon the
Mm-hmm.
manner of your speaking?
Oh, absolutely. Thinking that since she has that accent, she should only have a certain like intellectual and capability level.
Perfect. Perfect. I didn't want to establish that on my own, but that's where I was thinking as well, because as you come over to put your hands on him, he says, and you, of course, I'm surprised you're able to even read this note.
I understand that living in such finery that you would think that someone like me is dumber than a bucket of spit and just as useful, but you're wrong. And we're gonna prove it to you too, honey. And that's when she does attempt to touch him.
Okay, just before you touch him, he says, I know you think that that is the truth and you are smarter than you give off, but always in the back of your mind it is going to be eating at you the fact that you may in fact be all that people think that you are. And now I'm going to roll that advantaged charm person. And I got a 17.
Eh. Yeah, that beats my spell save BC.
He says, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame. Go and shame again.
Shame again.
I knew as soon as you looked to the right, I'm like, he'd already lost it. I love you so much, Bill. You are the gift that keeps on giving.
It was, you know what it was? It was a very bad George Bush reference. That I think I even got the George Bush reference
You
wrong.
did, like, you just had that, like, SNL sketch, like, just popping in your mind. I know exactly the one you're talking about, too.
Anyway, yeah. So he successfully saves, and he spits at you.
He spits at Big Mama.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Bye.
Hosen looks over to Big Mama and goes, all you.
And so she just literally, because from where he is and her height, it's really eye level with him upside down and her right side up. So she's gonna go ahead and pump an arrow into him. Melf's acid arrow. Yeah, she's gonna go ahead and do that.
Okay. Roll an attack roll, a spell attack roll with advantage because he's restrained.
Okay, that's one. And oh, Shiza!
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Before it was coming right off of the 20. I was it was right there.
So
Yep.
close.
All right.
21 will hit for sure.
Okay. 21. Let me just make sure I put it as I casted it. And I'm doing this, by the way, 3rd level.
Let's go.
And 22 points of damage total.
Oh my God.
Those.
Okay. With 22 points of damage, and this being an acid-based spell, what you see in front of you is that this magically created arrow goes into his torso. It lodges in there perfectly. And the acid that is starting to magically exude from this arrow starts to eat at his torso. And it begins to bubble. And there is blood now coming from inside of it. And you could actually start to hear kind of the wheezing of the lungs as there are now holes inside of those lungs. And it is becoming more and more problematic for him to breathe. Second, you also see this happening as well.
Like, can I take action before this
100%.
comes to completion? Yeah, I'll cast Healing Word
Sure.
on them for 13 points. I will step in between them and Rain, and Big Mama, and say, all of this world's creatures deserve the protection of the Everlight. And then I will stuff like a sock in their fucking mouth.
And Big Mama like puts her hands on Second's shoulders. It's like, I knew you were gonna do that, honey. And just like kisses him on the side of the head.
Second looks upset. Was that enough? Were that enough points? He's still dying. 13 points of that.
No. Yeah, back up. And so he's still kind of swinging there, but for the sake of the moment, we'll say that he is unconscious. But breathing. There is no hole inside of his chest anymore. There's no wheezing happening with the bubbling of their lungs. But unconscious. And you are left to the room.
Big Mama's gonna sweep up with the ichor on it.
Yep.
You roboted again a little bit, Bill.
Yes, you're perfectly capable of picking up that dagger. No problem.
And can she do any kind of like druidic focus on it to see like what that substance was? Assuming a poison, but anything?
Sure. You could do a Arcana check. That's one option. Or you could do a nature/survival check to see what the nature of that ichor is.
Can I do our nature?
Yeah, nature or survival. Yeah, I apologize if I went robotic again.
Okay. All right. Nature check. 18 plus 4, 22.
With a nature check, you can definitely tell that this is some sort of very potent poison. One might even say venom.
Ooh. Yeah, she's gonna go
Perfect
ahead.
with Spider-Man.
Yeah, slip that into her little herbalism kit.
Perfect.
Off to the side.
Wait, so you're just kind of scraping some of that ichor off, or are you taking the dagger itself?
Mm-hmm. I'm taking the dagger itself, but yes, absolutely. I should have said that she's trying to collect that off of the dagger, so it's not just a dagger coated in the pouch, staining everything.
Got it. So you've got both things. You've got a little bit of that ichor, and then you've got the dagger itself. Perfect. Understood.
Correct.
Hosen. Yeah, I think Hosen seems a little bit unsatisfied. Lets go of the rapier, still lodged in the dude's wrist. Goes over to the desk and looks for any letters, itinerary from the clasp to the mayor, to any sort of written documentation connection that the mayor has to the clasp here. He's probably, I don't know if he's gonna find anything, but he starts looking.
All right. Make an investigation check, please.
Got it. That is a 3. Investigation's not my strong suit, baby.
Well, it also doesn't help that the Phoenix basically clawed into the desk. And so there are kind of both claw marks and burn marks all throughout. And maybe what it is that some of the pieces of paper that may have had important information have been singed up a bit.
Hosen grabs the rapier and walks out of the room. Tries to go explore elsewhere, try to find more information, as much information as possible.
Okay, perfect.
Second picks up the note that he was trying to attach to the raven and looks at it.
Beautiful. All right. You look at it, and it has some words on it.
How many words and how long are they?
8 words, and roughly, I don't know, maybe 40 characters. Is this helping you?
Amazing.
Give me the middle, like give me 4 of the 8 words.
I have no idea what's happening. Give you 4 of which words? Just
Of
any
the words on the piece of paper. Yeah.
Okay, just any 4.
Any 4 you want.
I've request. They're coming.
Second will nod and hand the paper over to Big Mama.
Okay. When she reads it, can she read more?
The other 4 now revealed.
Oh, okay. I see what happened. Okay, that makes sense. All right, I got it together. Kenku stuff. Okay, so what you see, Big Mama, is I've been compromised. Request immediate extraction. They're coming.
Oh, okay. And Hosen already is out of the room. She reads it out loud, so that way at least, second, they're able to go ahead and grasp what was written. What she also wants to do is, one more thing is just take the dagger as a sense of, a little bit of irony, back out, go over to the mayor, and she wants to go ahead and just shear off just a locket of his hair and tuck it away in her kit.
Perfect. Yeah, you're very much able to do that. Mayor is unconscious, hanging, vulnerable. Hair might actually be at basically eye height for you, so
Probably the whole entire length of me.
yep, super dig it.
Second gets very tense when Big Mama pulls out a knife and walks over to the mayor and exhales.
Don't worry, honey. I'm taken. Okay, that's it. And then so she does. And then she does look back over at Saka and looks at them and is like, well, is there anything else that we need to do right now?
Second will gesture to the swinging mayor and gesture downwards.
I mean, he makes a nice chandelier. And she will go ahead and just dissipate the snare, so it does allow for him to kind of just release suddenly.
Okay, so the mayor then collapses to the floor. It's not far enough for falling damage, but he does kind of crumple into a heap on the floor.
Second will begin to hogtie the mayor.
Okay. Okay. Good enough. While this is going on, Hosen, you are doing an investigation throughout the rest of the house. So there's not that much to the rest of the house. To be honest, it is, as I mentioned before, yes, it is, of course, the mayor's mansion. And so the appointments inside of this house are very nice. There is very good wainscoting and those sorts of things associated with like a very well appointed house. But that said, there's not a whole lot of additional rooms. There is that one central sitting room where you mostly interacted with the mayor. Then there is the room that you and your friends were currently just in, and then the other room that is behind that other sort of mysterious second door there. And I assume probably prior to opening up those doors, you see that there are, there's a small kitchen where the butler would be sort of, preparing coffee and that sort of thing, as well as, actually, that's it. There's just the kitchen and then the sitting room.
Cool.
And then that other room behind the door.
Yeah, I think Jose first wants to explore probably the sitting room. Like, he knows the mayor like going through like drawers and whatnot for the cash and whatnot. Talked about the bracelet being a reward, even though it was like a horseshit lie. But goes through, just opens up, like just kind of like aimlessly, but like not really trying to be stealthy whatsoever, trying to like cover their steps or anything, just opening drawers, just trying to find anything that can tie the mayor to the clasp, just any more solid proof.
Okay. Why don't you make another investigation check, please?
Cool.
I'm not with him, am I?
No, you are not.
-1, baby. Let's go. 7, which makes sense.
Yeah, with a 7, you discover there are a couple of other very fine bottles of liquor, where he pulled out the cognac before, and there are a number of very fine cigars still inside of their like cigar boxes. But beyond that, you're not really able to find anything that is incriminating per se. You see a couple of tablecloths, maybe some additional glasses and wine glasses and those sorts of things. Sort of the sort of stuff that you would anticipate to find inside of a curio. Until you open up one of the other drawers. And inside that drawer, you find one item that is very strange to you. And there's no context, nothing associated with this. It is just one item. And it is the largest ruby you may have ever seen. Roughly fist-sized.
I pocket it.
Okay. Okay.
I think Hosen just kind of keeps going.
Okay.
We'll start making their way up to that second room.
Okay. Perfect. So, do you open the door to this second room?
D&D me says checking for traps, but I think Hosen is in this place of frustration, of anger. I think he just tries to open the door.
It's locked.
Locked. I take out, he looks in his bag, he pulls out thieves' tools, little lock picking situations, and tries to open the door.
All right. Why don't you do that with your proficiency bonus?
Nice.
Sleight of hand plus proficiency.
Gotcha. I'm going to activate my cloud rune for this one.
Ooh.
Well, with this rune, you have advantage on Dex, sleight of hand checks, and deception checks.
Perfect.
So I'll have advantage on this plus my proficiency. So +3. Or I have a +3 to sleight of hand. Does that include my proficiency or?
No, it does not.
Okay, cool. All right, so this is with advantage 21 plus an extra 3 for my proficiency 24.
Yeah, so that is going to pop that baby open very easily.
Gang, gang.
The lock is open, and if you'd like to, you can open it and see what's behind it.
I open it.
Okay. You open the door, and this is a room that is a mirror in size to the other room on the other side. It is roughly, maybe 8 feet square. But the difference here is that there's no desk, there's no bookshelves. There is another window, a bay window, but there's nothing, no pillows or anything on top of that bay window to sit and read or any of that. Instead, what is inside of this room is a very ornate and well-crafted rug that is laid upon the ground. And this rug does not have anything depicted inside of the rug. Instead, it is an intricate series of design that, at least for right now, does not seem meaningful in any way, shape, or form. But you do see on the wall is a wall-sized map of the continent of Tal'dorei. And you can see that there are pins of a red color posted inside of certain towns in Tal'dorei. The ones that you recognize are Westruun. You could see one on Turst Fields, Whitestone, and there is not a well, I was gonna kind of go on a different tangent here for a second, but the last one that you see is Tall Swamp. And then you see kind of a question mark written in kind of like a red marker over the Umbra Hills.
So not still been the city, the swamp.
The swamp itself, correct.
Fascinating. I call over to my compatriots over into this room. The second, Big Mama, you all probably want to see this.
Big Mama comes on over. What?
Points to the map and the rug. I don't know what this could mean. Points of attack, treasure, plans. I don't know. Out of curiosity, Hosen looked under the rug. Is there anything underneath the rug?
Great idea, but no.
Cool. Read in one of my books once, and kind of gets back.
Yeah, right. Smash try. So these pins that are up here, what do they signify? What do you think?
Out of curiosity, is there any over in that coastal town that I'm looking up the name of now? Because I still remember these names.
Are you just asking that out loud, or are you just asking?
Oh, sorry. Asking the DM. Is there like a red dot over Drina?
No, there's not.
Gotcha. All right.
Tekken walks over to the map and stares at it for a very long time, tilting their head different ways, sliding their hand over it.
Ooh. They're sliding their hand over it?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Before I resolve that roll, do you want to say anything or no?
No, go for it.
Okay. And then their eyes light up big and they point to Umbra Hills and then point to himself.
Second. Is that where you're from? She points over to Whitestone. That is where I was born. And then she points over to Catal Swamp. She goes, but that is where I was raised.
I point to West Run. And that's where I was born, and over to Terse Fields. They've been tracking us, points of interests.
Second points.
Go for
Second
it.
Points to Umbra Hills and goes. But then
You grew up there and don't know what happened after.
Left.
Rainbow.
You live there, but you don't know where you come from? All right.
Do you think that question mark is regarding you, second? Big Mama just like opens up like her journal, her gigantic book, and compared to her size, and just starts kind of like doing it like a makeshift kind of sketch of it with like marks over it. She does that. She just makes a copy of the map. Hosen. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you think that these markings on the map that they correlate with the contracts? Some of them, as far as the severity.
Some of them do. I think.
I wonder why Stone. Why?
While you are kind of having this conversation, I'm going back to second and how they were rubbing their hand over the top of this. I would like you to make a investigation check, please, as you are doing this. That's a fucking great roll.
That's like my 7th one of the night. That's bizarre.
Let's go.
So-
Natural 20, baby.
Second, gonna second.
Okay.
Woo.
So
I'm so glad I hooked this up to the roll 20 so you don't think I'm lying. Like, I got another down 20, guys.
Hey!
Let's go.
what remind me, what does second's hands look like? I mean, are they fingers or are they feathers?
They have like actual finger claws. I mean, the feathers come like run down like the hand is, but they had separate wings that were the like Kenku people had separate wings that were removed, basically.
Got it.
So he's got arms that are like feathered and actual hands.
Got it. Okay, so as you are rubbing your hand across this, you notice that there is a little bit of a bump. No, actually, not a bump. It's actually maybe the absence of a bump, and you use your finger to find that there is actually a hole behind the canvas of this wall, and this hole is roughly, I would say, if you were to be looking at a map, you would say that this is, if you were to go to West Run and then veer off of the beaten path directly south, that's where this hole is on the map. And I could show you
as
this
if there was a
later
pin,
on.
as if there was a pin punch in there previously.
No, as if there is an absence of a backing behind the wall. I'm sorry, behind the map. Like you could poke your finger through it.
Second, we'll get eyes big and see if they can take the map off the wall.
It is a wall-sized map, so no.
He will wave.
Can we like lift it up, or
I just
go behind it?
He'll gesture to Hosen and Big Mama to show them.
Okay, I mean, this map is more or less a it is maybe it's my fault for not describing it better. It is almost like it is a piece of paper put on top of like a canvas of sorts, and then this is put into a frame that is hung up on the wall. Does that help? Does that make more sense?
So we can't like lift the edge of it like a tapestry and move behind it.
You absolutely could, yeah, but you're gonna look at the wall. That's essentially what I'm saying. Is that like this little divot is behind the paper of the map and the backing of the frame. Does that make sense?
So that the divot doesn't go through to the back of the frame is what I was trying to get to.
Correct. Okay. That's right. So yes, you can tilt it back and look behind it, but you don't see any hole coming through the back of the frame. And so perhaps what you see is that, there is, maybe something inside of the frame itself.
I pull out a dagger and I poke at it.
Okay,
I'm sure try to open it up a little bit.
All right, perfect. You take your dagger, and it is sharp enough that you're able to kind of cut around where this hole in the backing of this frame is, and you take off the piece of paper that is layered on top of it, and you see inside of a little tiny capsule.
I open up, I grab the capsule, and I open it up.
You open the capsule.
I open the capsule.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay. I would like all three of you to make Constitution saving throws, please.
Okay.
Oh, you can't TPK at least.
Of all the times for your con saves to be absolute dog shit.
Oh my god, I know.
Would this be considered poison?
No.
Okay. I'm just gonna.
Anyway.
14.
Okay.
Come on.
So nobody saves.
Oh god.
So for the record, we have a 4, a 6, and a 14. Off of the back of 7 consecutive nat 20s.
Roll 20 was like, got him, stab.
And so here's what you feel as now you're like, the opening of this capsule is almost as though there is something otherworldly, and there is a smell that now currently enters into the room, and the smell is so potent that it begins to make you choke. And it is not a choking from dust or a choking from something lodged inside of your throat. Instead, this is a choking almost from the absence of air, the absence of something within the primaterial plane. It's almost as though that, like, there is nothing for you to breathe as you are as these little particles kind of like enter into the air. And I am going to roll some dice. And all of you are going to take 7 necrotic damage.
Cool. Dope. Love that.
What you going to do now?
Is the sensation remaining?
Yes, very much so. I would very much encourage you to make some sort of action that makes it not remaining anymore.
Well, we are just standing in like the second room, right?
Correct.
Is there a window in this room?
There's that bay window, right?
There is a bay window in there, yes.
Chuck
Well,
it
Big
out.
Mama runs back towards out the door, like runs out of that room.
Okay.
If she can, yeah, like
Definitely can.
she goes that way.
Perfect. Dig
I'm
it.
not gonna waste time doing anything else but doing that.
Second's gonna run towards the window, bring their shield up, and just like missile out the window.
Like an old western.
Okay. Why don't you make an athletics check? With advantage because you have your shield.
Thank goodness, because that was a 0.
Holy shit!
Boy.
Doesn't matter, it's a 2.
Where did our mojo go? Can we go back to our previous autosave?
We heard the boss music start. It was just like, no.
Second, you try and jump out the window, but maybe it's just a lack of a good breath of air that's inside of your lungs at the moment. You don't get a good jump off of the ground. And maybe what it is you also kind of slip on the rug a little bit, too. You are unable to make it through the window. Hosen, you doing anything?
This is a loud thud.
Yeah, I put it... How big is this capsule?
I mean, it is the size of like a Tylenol.
Like a Tylenol?
Yeah.
Cool. I grab my water skin, pour it out, shove it in the water skin, throw it, like, cover it up, put it underneath the rug.
Okay. Walk me through the exact steps again, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I grab my water skin,
Yeah.
dump all the water out,
Okay.
grab the capsule, put it into the water skin, and close it back up.
Are you closing the capsule? Because you kind of like unscrewed it and then lifted it off.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you doing from this moment?
I think... Yeah, I think reactionary, I think Hosen closes the capsule back up.
Okay.
And tries to pour out the water, put it in the water skin, close it up, try to contain it.
Okay, so you have closed the capsule again.
Correct.
Perfect. All right, great. Yeah, it goes back inside of your water skin. The room is still a little funky. So Big Mama, you are no longer in that room. You have exited, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like thinking it's going to be like it's affecting that room. So her running like basically into like past the doorway, like 5-10 feet over on the other side.
Yeah, sure.
Like through the door.
Sure. So what we can say is that you have run to a place where you no longer see those kind of particles in the air, and you're somewhere in the vestibule or that hallway that leads in. That said, Hosen and Second, give me Constitution saving throws again, please.
Whoa.
Fingers crossed for both of y'all.
9.
Okay, second saves. Hosen, you're going to take another 3d6.
Whoop.
Rolled better that time. That's 14 necrotic damage.
Ow.
Oh, please.
So second, you're going to take 7 of that.
Hosen walks out of the room.
Perfect. The easiest solution sometimes is the best. I'm sorry.
Have you played D&D ever, Bill?
I leave the danger.
Danger is there. I am not there.
Do you put the castle back on? No, I don't.
Part of me was about to say, no, I don't think Hosen does that.
I think I need one more con save just to really get it.
Exactly.
Okay, so Hosen walks out of the room. Second, what are you doing?
Muted.
I'm gonna go back to the map and run my hands over the whole thing to see if there are any more of these behind the map.
Okay, make another investigation check, please.
No.
It takes you some time, and I'm going to need one more con save from you as you are doing this.
14.
All right. That is only a 9. Anything else you'd like to do? Maybe something under the rug again, or somewhere, something else.
Insight check on Bill.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay there just to mess with Bill. I'm gonna channel divinity for preserve life. Take all 25, or I'll take all my hit points back. Can I go through all of them? Half my maximum. Okay, I won't do that. I'll walk out of the room, Bill.
Right.
Reluctantly.
All right. Cool. Okay, so I think at this point, Big Mama, Hosen, and Second, you are all more or less nearest to the entryway into the mansion. Let's cut over to Cinnabon.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
Cinnabon, the reason I want to cut back to you is because I kind of want to recap the layout of events as they've occurred and see if there's any sort of wavering in your purpose at the moment. So as we remember, Big Mama came over and talked to you about sort of the danger that was potentially living inside of the mayor.
Yeah.
Then Big Mama went back and stayed outside with Hosen. And then the door kind of opened up and they hurriedly went inside. The door was remaining open. You heard some crashing. And then you saw Second come and close the door. And so far, that's all that you've seen. Yeah. Where is Cinnabon's head at the moment? Are you still...
crashing?
Yeah, go ahead.
The crashing was like the and then and like second like reverse duck hunt like pop up and he just thinks trust in them and like this is about the needs of so many people and then he continues but has been making a point to sort of isolate when he can afford to and then I think the sort of the bump against the window is another one is sort of like okay and that sort of catches us up to present but for the most part like there is still a calmness and as he sees the sort of the benefits of what he's doing, there is a sense of really probably the first time since he woke up here, like truly a sense of pride and an understanding of what he can do.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, we're going to cut back to the rest of you. The three of you are stuck inside of the vestibule. What would you like to do now? Hosen, you are confident that you have investigated all of the rooms. Um, so, yeah.
Big Mama's like, what the fuck was that?
I don't know. I just saw a capsule. I thought it was important information. I have been trying to find something that pins the mayor to the clasp, and I thought this would have it. And I opened it up, and then all this stuff came out. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No. It's okay. Are we all okay? And so she looks at all of us, to see as far as, I mean, do y'all look worse for wear?
I'm hurt, but yeah, I'm hurt. I can. Yeah, I'm hurt.
Second, we'll wave you
Okay.
over. Actually, we'll maybe open the door and wave everyone outside.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's just.
I'll point to
get out of here.
the mayor. Be like,
Carry them out.
drag motion, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll also go back and pick up the birdcage. Bring the birdcage with them.
I'm not touching.
I'll grab them.
Okay. All right. So
Mama just like holds the door open and just, it's like, because it opens outwards, right? So she's just gonna hold the door and just waiting for them to come on out.
So I think this is an important thing to tell from the eyes of Cinnabon.
Yeah, that's why I'm like freaking the fuck out right now. I'm just
So as we just recapped, Cinnabon has heard crashing and thuds and all these sorts of things, and then the next thing that Cinnabon sees is is the door opening, the three of them coming out, second gesturing back in, then the three going back in,
right,
and then Hosen dragging the unconscious body of the mayor outside.
Very.
Big Mama just holding
stealthy.
the door, just like over it.
Just holding the door, and second carrying a bird cage out.
She like slams the door shut.
I think there's just an
And then-
air of bewilderment and just
She gets a 20, yeah, on Cinnabon, just like waves.
it just I think he'll make a point to say in common in the midst of all of this, eventful, and continues.
She hollers back like, colorful. And then yeah, she just glances over at Hosen and just kind of like looking at the mayor like, what do we do with that?
I think we are in good graces with this town. Dragging the mayor hogtied and said, hey, check out that mayor's mansion. There's some shit in there. Do not enter the second room.
Point of notice.
Second, we'll gesture to the wrist.
Like the wound on it? Or the bracelet?
Mhm.
I'll hold up the bracelet. Should we put it back on him?
I think it would be a bargaining chip. I think we should take it.
Yeah.
Question for you, and this is just logistical, and I apologize, Smitty, because you were about to say something. Are you having this conversation right outside of the mayor's house, or did you go closer to Cinnabon? Did you or
It's a great question.
Tell me where you are at the moment.
How
This is my
how like much is Cinnabon moving around? Like if we went over towards Cinnabon, could we have the conversation near them? Like
sure. Yeah,
moving around
like
much?
it's it's like a like it's the cadence of like a taekwondo like form test. So it's not like he's moving super quickly. He's just like got like a puzzled frown on his face, and is he did you kill him?
But what I will say is that at the moment that that you are kind of thinking about bringing the mayor and the raven over towards Cinnabon, you look out because you've been inside of this house for a little bit now, and not necessarily focusing specifically on the success of Cinnabon's spellcast. And I think now, as you look back, you start to see maybe 6 to 8 inch grasses where there were not any before. And specifically around Cinnabon, there are 6 stalks of budding sunflowers that have not yet fully formed, but they are there.
And is he kind of creating them out of nothing, or these are kind of like being restored or something?
Yeah, go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, it appears like as he like maneuvers away from them, it's almost like these buds are like chasing him, like out of the dirt. They're just like popping up.
Second is going to move towards Cinnabon and sit. Well, first take out their prayer rug and sit in the middle of the sunflowers, lay it down, and begin a prayer of healing for the next 10 minutes.
Nice.
That is actually a really good thing. Can we rest here for a little bit?
Hosen puts sunglasses on the mayor and goes full weekend at Bernie's. Just like, we're just hanging out with the mayor in this field. Don't worry about it. Not really, but I think Hosen can make a point. Yeah, like take the mayor to the center of town or leave him in there and close the door. We gotta do something with this unconscious mayor. We're in good graces, but
what happened in there?
The mayor had, and I hold up the bracelet that's in a button. The mayor is working with the clasp. There was a map in there with pins and dots over all of our hometowns. Then one in West Run, Whitestone, Umbra Hills. To me, it seems like we were targeted, or these are plans of attack, or looking for us, or I don't know.
I usually don't like to do this, but I want you to, well, let me put it this way. I think Hosen specifically, with his education and background, would know that these are pretty popular places. Mm-hmm. And so it would be a pretty large jump to be like, they're chasing us. Unless there is some sort of narcissistic vibes within Hosen, I don't know. but my point is that
have you met his husband?
My point is that like there is. I would encourage you to still have some uncertainty
bigger pictures.
about the fact that this, take that for what you will, but to jump to
That's fair.
This is chasing us. I want to discourage that.
Cool.
Okay. Cool.
What is the Umber Hills exactly? Whose town is that from? Oh.
Yeah.
All right then. Also, you really didn't answer the question. Is he dead?
No.
No, just unconscious.
He just kind of has a frown on his face.
Yeah, he did try to stab us with this, and she pulls out the dagger, the little vial of the black ichor, and just shows it over to Cinnabon with this. And I think it's venom. What do you think? And she passes it over to them, to Cinnabon.
Give me a little bit.
Oh yeah, you're still doing your thing. I forgot. Just kidding. Your hands are busy.
But as that's happening, and like he's his bit of a confused frown on his face is Big Mama Moko's explaining this. He tries to like steal a glance from Second. But no, like of course they're probably in the midst of their prayer of healing. So he just continues on.
When the prayer of healing resolves, and everyone will get up to 26 points back.
Jesus.
Second will
Live
choose
clerics are dope.
not to restore any hit points to the mayor.
Okay, sounds good.
So where am I at hour-wise, Billiam? When's the alarm clock going off? You're muted.
Oh shoot! I thought I unmuted. Okay, let's say you were at an even 4 hours now.
I figured you might say that.
And I think this is probably we're a little bit ahead of schedule on 10:55. This is 5 to the hour. Usually we try and shoot for 11 o'clock ending, but I think this might be a good opportunity for us to call it a night, regroup, figure out next steps, and come back next week with
4 more hours of plant growth.
Let's go.
Actually, I just want everyone to know that me, Alex, and Rain will not be here next week, so we'll just be all talking about plant growth for 4 hours.
It's actually Jacob and I have agreed that it is going to be a live action role play of we're going to LARP 4 hours of plant growth.
Y'all know I'm immune to embarrassment. I will do this. I do not care.
Wait, really? Can we?
Like the Mario like underwater music starts to play. And
Oh, amazing! Yes.
Amazing.
All right, very cool. Okay, so that's what we're gonna leave it for tonight. All
right.
However, but before we go, as usual, we would like to check in, see first of all how everybody's doing. Second of all, where we can find you on the internets, as well as whether or not there's anything to promote, and fourth of all, what your favorite cuisine is. So we'll start with you, Smitty. What about you?
Are we doing all of those things right now?
All of those things right now, or else.
Boom. Hey, folks. Once again, PB Smitty here. PB Smitty on the interwebs, mostly on the Twitters, a little on the Instas. You can find me here every Tuesday playing a second. And most of the other times you can find me every other Thursday night right here on the Amphitheater, sitting across from Philadelphia, talking about the news of the day, what's going on in our lives, seeing, what we're up to. And it's all comes together in a little thing that we like to call AMTMZ the PM, and breakfast. I know it's not a cuisine, but like breakfast, like bacon, eggs on a roll, bacon, egg, cheese, bagels. You know.
Would you have breakfast for dinner?
I do all the time. Brenner.
Sinful.
Big Brenner fan.
Sinful.
Wow.
Sinful.
Yes. Well, thanks, Catholicism. Let's go to Alex.
What a callback.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alex or Ziva RPG. As you can find me on the interwebs on Twitter and Twitch. You can find me here every Tuesday, hanging out with the most incredible cast I've ever had the pleasure to play with, and I love this game so much. Favorite cuisine. You know what? Like a good pancakes for dinner, always is good.
Sinful.
I think
Waffles is the correct answer, but you were so close.
Not so close.
Sin.
I have like a sourdough a starter that we make sourdough pancakes, and that is amazing. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend.
I agree that it would be amazing if you were to have it prior to 11 a.m. That's just...
Who the fuck's up at 11 a.m.? Never heard of it.
Nope.
Okay, Rain, please help us get away from breakfast for dinner.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm Rain. I am Virgo Rain on TikTok and on Instagram. There is a underscore somewhere in there. You asked also how we are feeling. The word I will use is elated. It is wonderful to be here on Tuesday nights and have all the funs. And cuisine, I really cannot get over Italian food. So anything from my own pink sauce, tortellini, angel hair, capellina pomodoro. I love that. Can I keep going? I absolutely can. Anything and everything, pasta and sauce and sausage.
Sauce.
Bacon, sausage. All of it. Put all of it together. And just sprinkle some sesame seeds across the top, especially when you try them right before you actually put them in there, so they have a little bit of crisp to them, besides the little crunch they already have. Oh, wonderful. Anyway, and garlic, all of that. Put all the garlics in there. That's me.
Crystal says that favorite cuisine, Fruity Pebbles for dinner. Now, I will repeat something that I said in the chat, but for some reason, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Fruity Pebbles, Lucky Charms.
It's the correct answer.
I would not be upset if that were my dinner. For some reason, overly sugary cereals for dinner, it hits a spot.
Yeah.
Spoken like a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally from dinner.
You pure
However,
hypocrite.
Yeah, I blame Catholicism. Over to you, Jacob.
You know what? I'm gonna have to make Nightbot make a thing for blaming Catholicism now. Anyway, my name is Jacob Plick, Duval King Jacob, ex-Catholic. Can you tell? As always, very excited to be here with all of you. Couple things. No idea what's happening tomorrow. If I get my computer back tomorrow, afternoon or early evening, then we'll play some Final Fantasy IX. If not, hopefully we'll be back. We'll be back next week. Had a couple of shows wrap up, so check those out. Both Fables, Once a Future on Carrion Cover Studios, and right here on the Amphitheater, Blood In, Blood Out, our Blizz in the Dark campaign had an incredible ending, both of them actually. So check those out. This coming Thursday, Outcast and Outclassed, our Pathfinder 2 EAP over on Waffles Maple Syrup, which is an incredible group of amazing folks. Really excited to get back into that after a little bit of a break. And then Sunday, this particular Sunday, Dragonlance Dragons of Rebirth over on twitch.tv/so many games. And then, of course, the opposite Sunday, Duval and Dragons, our Chrono Trigger 5e D&D campaign also on so many games. Food-wise, I am, as someone that is born and raised Duvalian, but my folks are from New Orleans, got to go with Cajun and Creole, depending on where you are in Louisiana. So calm down. Don't come at me. I can make my gumbo's better than yours anyway. So yeah, that's right. I said it.
Damn.
And get some. You can't do dark like me, boo boo. Very aggressive. Have you met me? Yeah. Bill.
All right. All right. I am Bill. You can find me on Twitter, Philadelphia. I'm sure that what I'm about to say is going to come up on our Thursday night
I like Wonder Bread.
Thursday night conversation on AM GMs in the PM. But that's where you can also find me every other Thursday here on the Amphitheater Twitch channel, where Smitty and I basically verbally combat each other for a tight 50. You know what my favorite cuisine is? And this is going to upset literally everybody I know. American Mexican food. Chipotle.
I'm
No.
okay with that.
Yeah.
No.
That's it.
Yeah. Smitty has left.
Everybody left. I'm okay with that. Chipotle's great.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not real Mexican food.
No,
and-
it's definitely not.
Yeah. It's
Like
not.
it's like I'm okay with it. Am I disappointed? Yeah.
Yeah, but also, you
Every-
live,
Like,
Okay with it.
disappointed.
you
Yeah,
live on the
it's-
West Coast where, like, you know, there's real food like that.
True.
And I live in Philadelphia where I have to
Real
basically go into the basement of the Comcast Center where they have a Mexican post, and it is.
What's a basement? I'm a Florida.
It's passable.
I would ask everyone who's watching to please just look up any Mexican restaurant near Bill in Philadelphia and send it to him on Twitter. That's not Chipotle. Also, I'm fine with Chipotle. I enjoy Chipotle, but like it can't
Right.
be a choice
best.
here.
Yeah.
You don't get to put that as a
Favorite
choice here.
cuisine.
Yeah, no.
Well,
That's so you though.
Take this into consideration as well. My bagel choice is Dunkin'. Okay, so
Here's the thing.
But with that, it's fine because there's no good bagels by you. That's fine.
That's also true. By the way, when you go to PAX U, bring Bill a bunch of Chipotle gift cards.
okay, speaking of bringing it,
Chipotle gift cards.
bringing it.
It would close.
Yeah, Duval, do you want to close us out?
I would love to.
I'm gonna get us up
I
for
would-
the raid. We're gonna raid that bronze girl tonight.
Oh, great. Yeah. And they just had a fucking badass Kickstarter. So make sure to support them over there. As always, folks, we like to remind you of a few things. By the way, if you didn't know, a lot of it is on you can't see it right now. A lot of it is on a mug at So Many Games, or SwimNowhere.com, I should say. So you should, by the way, if you have merch ideas that you want us to put together, a lot of shit that we're doing is totally merchable. I have some ideas that I'm thinking about doing. So if you have some thing that you'd be interested in having us make for you, I'll let your boy. But in the meantime, and in between time, I want to remind you, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights. Stop AAPI hate. And also, by the way, if you do not have a uterus, you don't get to tell people what uterus is, what to do with them. It's not your fucking uterus. It's none of your goddamn business. And climate change is real. As always, thank you, Smitty, for that addendum. A new addendum that we just added: read comics. They're really awesome. They're why your movies are really good right now. You're welcome. And lastly, and not leastly, make sure to choose love. Happy Coming Out Day. Take your time. Your truth is your truth. Own it. It's yours. And we love you very much. Let's go say what's up to that bronze girl there, Billiam.
All right, good night, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.